Wait, which camera?
There you go. Just do both.
Hey guys, it's BJ, Laurel, and Chris.
Hi!
Wow, BJ, you stole my intro. Cool.
I don't even know what's going on.
Laurel here with fellow instant producers BJ and Chris, and we are so excited, just like you guys, because Lilly Singh, her book came out today, and we went to Target this morning to get it. There was only 3 copies left, guys.
Oh,
really?
At 9 in the morning.
I didn't know people in downtown knew how to
these.
read.
Yeah, apparently. So we are already like knee deep into this book and totally obsessed, and we wanted to just kind of like give our reactions to it, and you guys just tell us if you like it too. Let us know what your thoughts are so far. Feel free to chime in. So how did you guys first hear about Lilly?
I just see her with her videos just popping off all the time.
Yeah.
My favorite is obviously when she plays her parents.
Yeah, I think that's how she just like.
I think that kind of
Stuck out to
took her
everyone.
comedy to another level, especially, you know, embodying and sort of embracing her, you know, ethnic heritage and just being Indian American. She really owned that.
Yeah.
And she put humor on it.
And she makes it relatable to everyone with parents too. It's
Right.
not just like, you know, one race, one ethnicity. It's like
Yeah.
it's universal, and she does that amazingly.
Perhaps it's more of like the foreign parent perspective that's really great.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, a lot of people touch on that, but it's really weird to have somebody bring it to a mainstream level.
Was that also kind of the first thing you noticed?
I think the first thing I noticed was just like her charisma. I wasn't really familiar with her until I interviewed her, and I just noticed that her energy is like so like skyrocketing.
That was at the People's Choice?
I believe so. No, it was at the People's Ones to Watch.
Once she was at
Okay.
People's
Yeah.
Ones to Watch, of course, she is definitely one to watch. Yeah, I think we've all pretty much met her before, and she is just like
Sweetheart.
such a sweetheart in person. Absolutely love talking to her always. But let's turn to the book now. Even just the cover is like so vivid and bright.
She's wearing red.
I think.
Power red.
Yeah.
I love red.
Yeah, red is supposed to symbolize like one
Here's the cover.
passion.
You can see it up
Two,
close.
what else does red symbolize? It's like, it's not, purple's royalty, but
It's like
Blue is
fire,
royalty.
it's
Fire.
like power.
Fire.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Fire,
It's
right on
bold.
sexuality,
Bold. Red is like the
boldness,
color that
aggression.
you see it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, it's
Coca-Cola.
definitely
You know what I mean? It
bold.
like takes your attention basically.
Yeah. What about the back? I noticed she has a warning sign on the
It's
back.
a really scary warning.
BJ, would you like to read it to everyone?
Warning, this book does not include hopeful thoughts, lucky charms, or cute quotes. That's because success, happiness, and everything else you want in life needs to be worked for, not wished for. In Lily's world, there is no escalator, only stairs. Get ready to climb.
What do you think about that? That's like super bold. If that's the first thing you read, are you scared to open it now?
No, I'm happy because it's like, you know, I think that oftentimes in this, especially in this YouTube culture, everything is so veneered, and, you know, people don't think that you're actually going to be working for anything, and a lot of times a lot of people do make like fun and all this about these influencers, but she's really taking it to a realistic place.
I appreciate, just the fact that she's moving beyond just the fluffy, like, kumbaya, let's all, you know, be stars, and she's really kind of owning the fact that hard work and perseverance is really important. I also like that she has another girl boss shout out, Sophia Amoroso,
Yes.
the nasty gal. She actually has the little commentary below.
Yeah, a whole quote from her.
Yeah.
I mean, Lilly has like a million celebrity fans. Like, she's friends with everyone. Like Charlize Theron, Fatima Mori, like every YouTuber ever. I don't know if you guys saw her like book release party. Every YouTuber was there, like Mamrie, Grace, Hannah, and like iJustine was there.
I actually love when you go to these events and then the other YouTubers are there supporting their events and supporting their releases and their projects. I feel like it's really awesome.
It just feels like they're all such good friends. I just want to be in there.
I thought they were just trying to, no. I'm not gonna go there.
They're friends. They're all great friends. So if you guys are just joining us, the instant producers here are kind of taking a nosedive into Lily's book and reading some of our favorite passages.
It just came out today.
How to Be a
sold
Boss. pick it up in stores or order it online because it may be sold out in stores. So I also wanted to kind of mention before we get into the different parts of the book, she dedicated the book to herself from 6 years ago. She was basically like, thank you for not giving up. Thank you for working hard when I told you to. And there it is. Told you to keep going, basically. And I think that's super cute because really you're responsible for your success is what she's saying.
Can I say I love that because I just saw on Instagram or something, it was just one of those inspo quotes, Monday motivation, but it was be the person that you needed when you were younger.
Love
and I think that's exactly what she's saying, is that she sort of manifested this, very powerful sort of career, and she hasn't forgotten her roots, which I really love,
Props to her for, having that plan all along, because I feel like it's easy to say that, in retrospect, in hindsight, should have been more like this, but I feel like she had this plan all along. Clearly, because her book is, a very detailed plan of how to not only survive the world, but conquer it. And it's divided into 4 parts. The first part is master your mind. The second part is hustle harder. The third part is make heads turn. And the fourth part is be a unicorn. So we've gotten a little bit into the book, and I want to know what your guys' favorite parts are. If you want to read a little bit, let us know.
I think, first of all, if you can see as I'm panning through the book,
look at that.
It's just beautifully designed.
It's like a magazine quality.
The typography, the color story, the photography, everything, the images are just beautiful.
How fun that photo shoot was.
I know, right? I think just on first note, you even see it on the inside of the cover. She's not just kind of telling you her life story. This isn't a memoir. She's actually giving you tangible steps to actually achieve very similar success. And I think that's always been very helpful for the books that I've read. I'm like, but how though? How do I be a more positive person? What does that actually entail?
Exactly.
And she breaks down every chapter with a couple of steps that you can actually then put into practice and start implementing, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
And I love this picture of Be in Love, and it's
her and her. I know. I love that she is really quick to play the guy and the girl. She's not just trying to be the cute face on YouTube all the time. But BJ, you have this bookmarked.
Yeah, touch your nose. I think this was a very important kind of statement, because at the end of the day, should I just read it?
Yeah, read whatever part you want.
Touch your nose. No, I'm serious. I want you to stop reading after this sentence, and don't resume until you take your right hand and use it to touch the tip of your nose. Do it. Look at you. What an impressive piece of machinery you are. Do you know what you just did? You were introduced to a thought and decided to act on it. Your brain sent signals using neurotransmitters through neurons across your body.
Very sciencey.
And into your arm, prompting it to move and touch your magnificent nose. See, I just think that statement it's so great to actually physically do something.
Right. And it's not a direct cause and effect, you touch your nose and all of a sudden you're successful, but she goes into so much detail on the littlest things. That exercise is just trying to get you to realize that the things you do, my brain is telling me to do this right now, and your brain, and that transfers to other things as well.
Jump off a bridge.
Maybe not that one. So
she has these giant pull-out quotes, which are obviously very beautifully designed, but this one says, humans have a tendency to overcomplicate simple things because we overthink them. But if you take a step back and remember your priorities, it becomes easier to make a decision. And so she's really kind of giving you steps on how to shift your mind. And I think that's really interesting, because I know when you're in your 20s or younger, or just being so overly stimulated with social media, we like to analyze and analysis paralysis and just constantly mining our own brains with overthinking. And I feel acknowledging that that's something that she's gone through and that she's had to let go of is, I think, a very sort of relatable theme.
It's funny that you said that, because one of the things that stuck out to me was she has a little subchapter about emotions, and she kind of says you know, when you're in your creative space and you're trying to get shit done, you should focus less on the emotions you're feeling in the moment and put all that focus and energy on productivity. And she goes into it a little more in detail. So basically, no emotions, more productivity. It seems like to her the two don't really go hand in hand. And I mean, what do you guys think about that? Because I feel like your emotions are an essential part of you that kind of guides your thinking. So do you think that's possible?
Well, I think that if you're actually looking at her work, she's more in the creative space. It's not so much about her creativity so much as like how she is dissecting culture, and in doing so, I don't think she really taps into the type of creative space where emotions are needed. And especially with her psychology background, I feel like it's all about compartmentalizing emotions in order to get efficiency.
That's interesting.
Right.
But it isn't pure creativity. It is something that is a derivative of construction.
Bless you, Stephanie, behind the camera. Shout out. I totally see what you're saying, but then that doesn't really make it a universal statement.
Right.
I think she's trying to reach everyone.
Well, I think she's not saying that, you know, don't acknowledge your emotions or don't sort of pay attention to them. She's really kind of offering sort of a way to manage your emotions in the way that, like, if you can have a mastery of them, if you're aware of the times that you're sad, you know, just having that sort of like mental gymnastics, then you can, like BJ said, sort of like put them aside so you can channel them into something that's productive. Like, you need the emotions because that's what it sort of informs whatever you're saying. She's obviously very passionate. She talks about women all the time and sort of like empowering girls, and I think like, so she's definitely a passionate person, but not being so overwhelmed by that passion that she then can't, you know, channel that and funnel that into her businesses or all of her various projects.
I think for her that was like a trial and error process, because she also mentions like that when she's being creative, she's crazy. And like, can you imagine Lilly Singh?
I mean, you see.
Like, she talks a mile a minute. I can imagine her when she's in the zone being like, like, she has her vision and like will do anything to get it. And I think, her point is like trying to avoid that, because I think we all kind of get crazy when we see something and need everyone else to see it to make it happen. That's when emotions can kind of get tricky, because, you know, you're getting...
She has a really cool chapter about visions, which I haven't gotten a chance to read it, but just reading the different chapters.
It's a major step, and...
To me, I felt like that was really cool, because I'm really interested to see... She's obviously created a world with her various characters and, you know, her skits and everything like that. Like, I feel like it is very much this concept that she's currently...
An ongoing concept.
Ongoing concept that she's dynamically evolving.
Well, you like to make vision boards, don't you?
Oh yeah, no, exactly. I actually made vision board. I made 2 vision boards this year. One of them because I wasn't refined enough with the actual goals that I wanted out of them. One of them was like an inspiration board, and then the other ones were more concrete visions. So I actually do kind of come from that same school of thought that if you really kind of focus your mind on specific things that you're looking for, you can manifest them. And I think her brand is just, of a lot of the other sort of YouTubers, is so palpable. You know, kind of like how like her bold personality or charisma. You just how this book is branded. I think it's more creatively done than a lot of the other books.
It is. Like, the cover is very like typical, like it could be like a business person on Wall Street telling you how to be successful, but then you open it and it's very relatable. Like, the layout kind of speaks to millennial, like Gen Z kind of.
It's magazine editorial.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's like, she has this thing about going back to her like not overthinking. She doesn't take herself too seriously.
Yeah.
But she's still very serious. So it's that juxtaposition, like, you know, this is a silly like insert, you know, of her being crazy, but then you get into this point where she has like lists and like numbers and all this stuff, so it's very formatted and structured, so it's organized. So I think like that really represents her sort of character of being like a split of a zany kind of like on-screen girl and then behind the scenes.
Bawse.
Yeah, she's killing it.
I think it has to do with, like, you know, the way we consume things. The 8-second thing about our generation And so, like, you know, you do skim through a lot of the writing, and then you get rewarded with another photo of her.
Right.
Right, exactly.
We are.
That's hilarious.
Or actually, no. If you read a paragraph, you'll get like a bolded, colorful, you know, statement.
From what you've seen so far, like it's not just pages and pages of text. It's not like it's not boring by any means, for sure. Not that traditional books are boring.
So
that's just our
Ew.
generation. Right?
We've
I'd rather
heard
watch TV.
We've heard the term boss. Obviously, we've heard girl boss.
Yeah.
But hers is Bawse.
Bawse, which is like silly. It makes it silly, but
it reminds me of the Fifth Harmony song, but they spell it boss with dollar signs.
Probably.
Anyways, this is the definition. It's on the back. A person who exudes confidence, hustles relentlessly, reaches goals, gets hurt efficiently, and smiles genuinely because he or she has fought through it all and made it out the other side.
I think that getting hurt efficiently thing is really interesting.
That's the most interesting part of the definition to me as well. Gets hurt
scary because it's like, you know, I think like probably our modern perception of love and all is being so subverted now by this whole like efficiency and sensibility of trying to make your life so much better. And there's this one, I'm trying to find it. Your ex wasn't right for you. Just that statement is so bold and so like right to it. But I feel like, you know, perhaps maybe older generations or something wanted to dwell, and millennials and Gen Z just want to like move on.
In that actually gets hurt efficiently was a very interesting kind of like, I've never heard that sort of statement kind of play out, and I think she's meaning more so in the line of being able to confront your emotions head on.
Yeah.
So that, you know, you're not either suppressing them or you're not sort of allowing them to be drowned in them.
Yeah.
She's sort of saying confront your emotions, you know, process them, and then move on.
Also, getting hurt is a part of life, and I think she's kind of saying, and that's a part of life that you learn from, and I think she's kind of saying getting hurt efficiently is you learn from it, you routine it, and it doesn't happen again. It could happen again, but like in a way like it's
well, when you fight your battles, you know, you get rewarded with an even bigger battle, but like it's not as big because you have your history. I don't know, we're getting deep.
I know, deep into the definition of boss. So if you guys are just joining us, we're here talking about Lilly Singh's new book, How to Be a Boss, that dropped today. If you don't have it already, you should get it because it is just like going to make your life so much better.
The funny thing I could just say about her is that like even with just a photo, she like makes you laugh. Like this photo is just like ridiculous.
She has great facial expressions.
Amazing. Yeah, she's just and she's gorgeous. I love it.
I wanted to bring up another thing that stuck out to me on page 258 toward the end. In the unicorn part.
Okay.
How to be a unicorn. She talks about having values and not hobbies. And I think she makes a lot of statements in this book that are just kind of like, wow, this is the opposite of what I've been thinking my whole life. And then she kind of explains them in her own way and makes you see it from a different perspective. So, again, 285. Did I say 58?
Yeah.
I meant 285. I sometimes have dyslexia. So she talks about having values and not hobbies, and one of her big examples is even just internet surfing is like everyone's hobby nowadays. And she's like, if you're going on the internet and you're reading like celebrity gossip and you're thinking, well, this celebrity deserves what they got, this blah, 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 like this is funny, I'm going to share it with my friends, this is hilarious. That's bullying, she says. And that's like a value you have without realizing you have, kind of. So
I disagree with that statement. We're so desensitized right now that bullying is so kind of like second nature to just living. We're all trying to just live. What's the point of like, you know, trying to deconstruct bullying? This whole statement of they don't have problems, they're rich, they'll never see these statements and they're horrible, they deserve it.
So you don't think that's bullying?
It just, I mean, honestly, if it's, you know, something, it's a coping mechanism. A lot of people have really shitty lives, and okay, so some people need to get off on this.
Yeah.
Why are you bullying them for bullying other people? People who bully other bullies are just bullies.
But
I think she's
Laura,
trying
what
to be
is she?
constructive.
What is she talking more so about? Like the hobby. What's the hobby?
See, that's the thing. Is she says hobbies, and you're thinking like, oh, should I not like play soccer?
Should I not like
but no,
build
it's kind of,
airplanes?
She's focusing more on the value part. Like
right.
She's very focused on the mind. We've already kind of talked about this, and I think from her perspective, like your values should take up more of your time, and you
right.
should live more geared towards your values and toward hobbies that don't necessarily inform the
what
person
you
that
do.
you are.
So like she's saying not have a disconnect between, I guess, your actions and your values,
yeah,
right? And sort of rooting what you do and what activities you do in those values that you deem important.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that is so unrealistic to actually live and abide by that type of way of being. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody has their own issues, but everybody has issues, and sometimes, I just feel like if you're trying to like put on this happy face, you are lying, and then you end up hurting yourself more when you end up, eating a whole container of like Dunkin' Donuts instead of just looking at celebrity stuff.
I do that for fun. Are you kidding?
Well, I puke it out. It's fine.
Well, my next question then was, do you guys agree with what Lilly is saying at whole? Like, do you agree with the concept of this book that she can kind of give you these guidelines to success, and that's all you need?
It's a perspective of how she attained success, but there's this contrarian aspect of it that is kind of supposed to push boundaries in the way people are going to react to it, and I think that's smart since a lot of these influencers and YouTubers tend to be very huge sycophants,
Mm-hmm.
I support just sort of her whole movement. I think in general she's on this upper echelon of the YouTube community where I actually believe she's already crossed over, but I think she's going to continually do that through the various things that she does.
Yeah.
And so this to me makes sense because I think she's going into an approach where she's trying to elevate the conversation around her and sort of why her fans care about her so much. She wants her fans to like tactically figure out a way to like reach success or to pursue their dreams, and I feel like that's a very bold, and she is bold obviously, and she says things that cause dissent and whatnot, but I think that's to me, I admire that versus just here's how great my life is or whatever. Like again, the fluffiness, like obviously it's entertaining and it inspires people in their own way, but this is like actually like hey,
it's real.
Let's do this. Like, here, let's work hard together.
I think she realizes that she already has a platform of 11 million plus people who do look up to her and do admire her, and she does inspire them every day, and this kind of may speak more to them and have more of an influence on them, seeing how their role model would suggest that they get to her level. And it may not be for everyone who doesn't have the same goals, who doesn't necessarily like agree with that. It may not be for everyone, like BJ, like different lifestyle.
Well, one thing that I think ultimately is that technology, although it's exposed us to so many different worlds, and and it's supposed to make us faster, better, stronger, I think the accessibility of technology has made people actually lazier and want that instant gratification.
Yeah.
And I commend her for really emphasizing hustling harder, working hard. Like the work ethic thing is to me really sticks out, and I can relate to her because she's a minority, she's a woman. You know what I mean? She has a lot of barriers that she's had to climb, but she's punched through them, and I think like that should be kind of like taken.
That's always been a huge strong point of like my respect for her is being a person of color and like a woman in today's culture. She has to go against the grain of a lot of like mainstream white kind of like perspectives, and I feel like she does cover a lot of ground that a lot of people do not get to really venture into because of her the extra steps in which she has to go so far.
I can't wait to read it. I'm actually I'm taking this copy from our office.
I'm gonna read the whole
I'm reading it
from start to finish. I really got 2 copies so I can take one home.
I thought this was mine.
Are you kidding? I mean, all in all, like I commend her. I think everyone can relate to working hard to some extent, and I just can't wait to be a boss.
Both.
My boss. Thank you guys for watching. Please keep telling us your thoughts in the comments. We really want to know what you think about this book. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
If you've read the book, hit us up on instant.me on Twitter so we can...
And go buy it. How to Be a Bawse.
Instant.me, DOTME.
Bye.
Bye, guys!